Dear sons, brothers and sisters, the question is not the appearance. We are here to change the inner self. We are here to change our realities. Appearance is just a deception. It is just an outer wall of a city, a boundary wall of a country. And everything is inside the wall. Armies are inside the wall. Armies of Ruh and armies of Nafs fighting with each other. Nobody knows what is happening inside. Battlefield is inside. All functionaries are inside our personality. Nothing appears in appearance. Nothing appears in our external posture. External posture is the same, whether somebody is a kafir or somebody is a mu'min. Body is the same. But I tell you, and I swear by God, when inner realities are changed, although the body which is seen with these eyes looks to be same, but body itself does not remain the same. Because there is a body. When it goes in the grave, it also becomes dust with dust. And there is a body which after death, when it is put in a grave, it is placed on the dust. But dust which touches that body itself becomes like Noor. It never becomes dust in dust. It remains alive. There is no decay, chemical decay. Because here the body was controlling the Ruh. In this case the Nafs was controlling the Qalb and Ruh. In that case now Ruh is controlling the Qalb. Ruh is controlling the Nafs. Ruh is controlling the Aql and intellect. And Ruh is the one who is controlling the body. So the one which controls, his characteristics would be influencing that reality. If the body and nafs controls the Ruh, Ruh itself becomes a dead body. An-nafsul hayawani. If body controls the nafs, qalb and jism, and our body, then the body starts achieving the characteristics of Ruh. Characteristics of Ruh. That's why an ordinary person is either here or here. His body cannot be seen at various places at same time. Because body has to function as a body, as a vegetal entity, as a physical entity, as a materialistic entity. But when body is controlled, comes under the control of Ruh. And how does body comes under the control of Ruh? When nafs and qalb, everybody surrenders in front of Ruh. Then body also comes under the control of Ruh. Then the characteristics of Ruh start reflecting through the body. That's why there is a body which cannot be present at various places at one time, because this is vegetal body. And there is a body, when it becomes a spiritual body, it can be seen, a body of Sayyidina Ghawsul Azam Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, and body of many of the great saints and awliya of Ummah. Then they are seen at the same time at various 40 cities. Because this is now the function of Ruh has started. Now this is tamassulul arwah and tajassudul arwah. The same process has started as Ruhul Amin came to Sayyidah Maryam in a form of a human body. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. Ruhul Amin was Ruh, but he was given a body. When the same Ruh achieves the status And the characteristics of Al-Quds starts reflecting in that Ruh. The Ruh also starts functioning in the same way. And it is present at many places as a single body. Real body remains at the same place, but the Ruh, the spirit, that goes on achieving various manifestations. Then Asif bin Barkhiyah, the Sahabi of Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, a wali of the time, a wali of Sayyidina Sulaiman's time, when Ruh achieves the status of destined, that great status which it is supposed to achieve finally, and starts controlling the body, then Asif bin Barkhiyah apparently is sitting in the office of Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, sitting in his court, but at the same time he is bringing the throne of Queen Saba from 1,000 miles away from his court. He disappears, but he does not disappear. He is present and he is disappearing. When Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam asked, أيكم يأتيني بعرشها قبل أن يأتوني مسلمين قال عفريت من الجن أنا آتيك به قبل أن تقوم من مقامك. He said, no, I don't accept this offer. قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب. Then that person, the wali Asif bin Barkhiyah, stood up. قال أنا آتيك به قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك. I can bring that throne from 1,000 miles before twinkling of your eyes. This is Quran. This is not a story written by any other scholar. So the question is, how did he go and come back? And when Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam twinkled his eyes, the throne was there. فَلَمَّا رَآهُ مُسْتَقِرًّا إِنْدَهُ قَالَ هَذَا مِنْ فَضْلِ رَبِّي. Because then this person becomes fadl of Allah. So he remained there, he disappeared, he didn't disappear, and throne came there. So now through body the spirit starts functioning in his own way. The spirit starts functioning in his own way. There is a body having all materialistic and vegetal characteristics. And there is a body in Medina, body of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who walks in sun and there is no shadow. He has a body. The flies do not sit on his body. He has a body, but without any perfume, this is giving nice fragrances. He has a body, and whatever is coming out of his body, they are also pure and fragrant. So, apparently various bodies of human beings look similar, but the basic thing is the change which occurs inside the body. And that change makes a lot of difference. The subject of awliya and Sufiya is to bring that change in the life of human beings, and that change in inner selves of our life, bodies, inner selves. That's why their subject, always their subject is either ruh or nafs or qalb. They always address them